Hi everybody, Craig here. Welcome to episode 17 of my 6-player free-for-all Age of Wonders 3 playthrough series. In this series, I am playing against 5 Emperor AI that are each on their own separate team, and I am playing as the Orc Warlord, Crognash the Brutal. In our last episode, we successfully captured the city of Bleg, and that's a city that used to belong to our High Elf Druid opponent Galendil of Vorlas. So we've successfully gained the city. We're in the process here of absorbing it. And we actually dealt a very, very decisive blow. We killed Galendil himself, and we also eliminated a number of Galendil's heroes and powerful units that he had assembled there to defend Bleg. He actually tried to surrender to us, but we've declined that, as, once again, in this playthrough, I will not be accepting any surrenders. I'm going to have to kill them and finish them off the old-fashioned way. And we've kind of got ourselves here assembled with some extremely powerful units, as you can see here. We've got ourselves in a nice position here to start sieging the rest of Galendil's empire. So we've got a city here that is unfortunately not his throne, but you can see that we've got some domain over here, so I suspect his throne is probably sitting right here. But in any case, before we dive into this episode, I did just want to give a couple of quick shoutouts to a few individuals who left some excellent comments on the last episode. The first of those comes from Casper Eklund. And Casper rightly pointed out that I actually kind of blundered when I was doing the item distribution here after I had conquered Bleg, killed off the heroes, and I had some items left from those dead heroes that I was able to send off to my heroes. In particular, I sent an item to, let's see if I can find him. It was to Urkan, and I believe Urkan is, yes, he's right here. So the item that I sent to Urkan is this shield here, which you can see is a shield of blocked whispers. And that's it provides mind control immunity. Well, I didn't even think about it at the time, but if we look here at Urkan, he actually has Blood Brothers, which means that all units in the hero's army gain strong will, and on top of that, they also have spirit resistance at 100%, which you can see right here. So not only do they get mind control immunity, but they also get the benefit of extra spirit protection. And so this shield is essentially useless for Urkan. So it was really kind of silly of me to send it to him. And Casper is absolutely correct in pointing that out. Another thing that Casper pointed out is that the item that I ended up giving to Crognash here, Gordham's Taunting Gusarm, this item, Casper pointed out that this would actually be almost more useful on a hero who's going to be doing a lot of ranged fighting. Now, fortunately, I do have a bow, crossbow, black wand, and stuff for Crognash, so it's not too bad for him. The reason that Casper suggested that this is better for, let's say, a ranged hero is because Armor Piercing and Hero Slayer will both impact range damage. So just something to keep in mind, and again, an excellent comment there from Casper. It's really easy to kind of get overwhelmed when you've got all these items and you're trying to divvy them out to heroes. And I don't want to waste a ton of time doing it because I realize that's maybe a little bit less exciting for you guys to watch. So just a good reminder there from Casper to always kind of take your time and think about which heroes need which items, keeping in mind, of course, the attributes and upgrades that you've already gained for those heroes. The next thing Casper pointed out is that in regards to Toldran down here, which is our largest city that we've really got doing very, very well in terms of production, and it's going to very shortly be able to produce some Manticore Riders here, Casper pointed out that what we could do is actually build a road from our throne city and actually have it link up to Toldran. We could even build ourselves a second bridge here across the water if necessary, just to sort of speed up the movement of our units, as currently we've got units that are heading up, and we'll actually do that here real quick. So we're assembling ourselves a stack on this dungeon to clear out the dungeon. But if we did have better roads and a bridge going across here, that would actually speed up the rate at which our units could get across, and that would actually improve our ability to move our units around much more quickly. So great suggestion there from Casper, and there we go. We've got all our units just kind of on the way here. The next set of comments comes from Can Dennis, and Can pointed out that I had some technical difficulties in the previous episode, And Can suggested that part of the reason that I might have had those difficulties is because I had sort of almost a perfect storm of issues happening here at Bleg. So not only did I have a large number of units in that battle, I think I had 3 or 4 stacks, and Galendil had 3 or 4 stacks as well. We also had an active spell, which was causing some graphical kind of stress there in terms of Dread Siege. And probably most importantly, I have a number of mods installed as well, but we also had units like the Shadow Demon Harvester, as well as a Necromancer hero in Galendil's stack, which are capable of actually spawning new units. And I think the combination of all of that was just a little bit too much for my CPU and my system basically to bear. Thankfully I've made a few tweaks, so I think hopefully we won't have any more issues like that. But I think Can's absolutely correct. I think that was kind of just a perfect storm of issues. So, again, hopefully with my tweaks that won't happen again. But in any case, we're going to keep on trucking. A big thank you to Casper and to Can Dennis for those excellent comments. And we're going to dive right in here. So let's see if we can really kind of speed up this finishing off of Galendil, as I would really like to get to eliminating, or at least getting into combat with the rest of our 3 opponents. I don't really want to give them a ton more time to kind of build up. So last time we had moved most of our units here, but we are going to just kind of group them up a little bit. So they're pretty much in good shape now. So let's think about what we want to do for like spell casting here. We could go with a Dread Siege, but I don't think we're going to need it, as these cities don't appear to be as well defended. I suppose on the other hand, we could use... I'm just looking at all my cities here. We do have Embrace Darkness on most cities. We also have it there. But any city where I'm producing units, I do want to have Embrace Darkness going, as that provides extra lifesteal. So perhaps maybe we'll throw one on there as well. So we'll get another one going. Let's just jump around to our different units here and make sure that everybody has finished moving. Okay, now we have this Goblin Settler, and we're really going to have to figure out what the heck are we going to do with him. In terms of where do we want to found another city. I'm thinking probably in this wetland area would be a wise choice, as that's going to sort of benefit the growth of our goblin cities. Now, we also want to maybe see if we can actually clear out some of these structures here. We've got a number of kind of units that are all in this area, so why don't we kind of just send them all down here and see what we can do. You know what, we can send over these 2 to help out as well. And between all these units, I'm imagining we can probably handle this battle. We may lose a few, but let's do it. We'll actually move this stack on just to get the benefit here. So we'll do this battle quickly. Now we have to remember, of course, that Great Reawakenings is going to be on here. Or Great Reawakening, I should say. Okay. So let's see if we can just start taking out some of these units here. There we go. Fortunately, we fumbled the attack, but we still got some pretty solid damage in there, actually. And then we can step up with our Night Guard here, and I think get the kill or be very close anyway. Alright, there's one finish. And unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get in there. I was going to try and stand on the corpse in order to attempt to prevent them from coming back. So I think what we'll do is we'll just step up. Really nice that these Spirit Elementals have that Blight weakness, as our Shadow Demon Larvae do that Blight damage. It's being absorbed by the Martyrs at the moment, but in any case, that is going to help us out. So we'll send our Griffin Rider in, who's really our strongest unit at this point. And there it is, there's that revive. Okay, so I'm actually quite happy that when we resisted the convert, thank goodness. But I'm actually pretty happy that it used up the heal, as that prevents some extra damage being applied to us. So why don't we... You know what, let's go in for the Martyrs here, as I really want them eliminated. You know what, we're gonna swoop in like this, get the nice big attack here and see if we can get the kill. Very close. Let's go in and finish him off with some stones here. Excellent. Okay, so now that frees up the Evangelist for some, potentially some pretty big damage here. So we can do that. And it would be nice to get rid of these martyrs as well, such that we can then do damage to the spirit elementals a little bit more freely. However, we can also step up with our flamer and bomb both units here, so we'll do that. Very nice. And then with our Night Guard, we'll attack like that. And then, yeah, it would be great to get rid of the martyrs, so let's step up here. We'll land on their corpse here, which will prevent them from coming back, which is going to be good. We don't want them respawning if we can avoid it. So let's go up like this. We'll do some more damage to the martyr. And then we will step up with our butcher here. Do some damage, take some hits, but we got some lifesteal, so we're getting that back a little bit, which is excellent. And then we can do some big damage there to the spirit elemental. Unfortunately, they're going to come back, but... So we lost a shadow demon, but kind of expected. You know what, let's even step around like this and do a nice flank hit here. And then we can... Let's see, can we... Ooh, you know what, we could do that. That would be a nice attack. Excellent. Then we'll step up and hit the martyrs there with some big damage. Finish off the Evangelist if possible. Yes, very nice. And then we should be able to just kill off the martyr as well. For some... We'll get a little bit of health back with our butchers, too. There we go. So, relatively clean battle. We didn't really lose anybody except for the one Shadow Demon larva. And we cleared out another structure that, once the city grows a little bit, will be in the domain. So, nice to get that extra benefit there. So now the question is, where do we want to try and park our next city with that settler? So, I think I'm going to just kind of start heading over here. We could clear out this watchtower. That might actually give us a little bit more, a little bit better idea of kind of what we've got going on here. So, might be nice to actually keep these stacks kind of together. So let's do that. And the settler can just kind of camp out in the city for a few turns while we're kind of trying to identify the best option for us at the moment. Ooh, and look at this. We've got a ton of scoundrels that are waiting on our doorstep, and they've probably been spawned by a structure in this mist that we need to clear out. So we're in the process of making another phalanx. We're just assembling kind of a squad here at the city of Srock, such that we can then proceed to clear these units out and hopefully clear out the spawning structure responsible for their creation. So this phalanx, I believe, is our first phalanx that has the benefit of... Yes. So this is our first phalanx that has the benefit of Pillar of the Stylites. You can see here we've got 2 extra spirit damage, and we should also have projectile resistance, which is fantastic. Very, very nice there. So this is an extremely powerful unit. Could also build a road up from Carbanox such that we can get our units to this road a little bit more quickly. I think that would actually be kind of a good choice. So why don't we head up like this? And let's jump underground. Did we finish moving Hininia? Okay, we did finish moving Hininia, so she's moved about as far as she's going to. So now let's think about our production here. So, in Carbanox, it would take us 5 turns to have a Great Beast Lair ready to go. I think it would almost be more beneficial to produce a couple of Phalanx units out of here, since they're getting that Pillar of the Stylites upgrade. So I think we'll just focus on Phalanx being produced there. Over to Srock now. It would be great to have some maybe units being produced here to help with this stack a little bit. It's going to take, unfortunately, a couple of turns to get able to do that. Or at least able to produce units that are half decent. Maybe we do a Warlord's Command there. And then up in Umboku, could do a Observatory, get that extra gold mine in there. That might not be a bad plan. Let's do that. That'll also increase our knowledge income a little bit. And we can tell these units to just hang out for now. Same goes for them. This little guy, I was sending him up just in case I needed a guard on our Archon Revenant dwelling, so I think I'll tell him to just camp out there just in case we need something to occupy that area there. Now, as for Urkan's stack here, I think we're going to charge right in and go and try and clear this structure out. Now, we're going to have Great Life Stealing is going to be in effect here, and we're going to have a couple of Evangelists. Thankfully, we've got Blood Brothers active, so none of our units should be susceptible to convert because they've got Strong Will and 100% Spirit Protection. So we're actually in pretty good shape for this battle, all things considered. So first things first, let's drop a heal on our human cavalry here. Excuse me, our human knight, I should say. And we'll light up the... Oh, very nice. We actually got the kill outright. That's fantastic. Okay, so now we can throw... well, let's just throw a curse on these martyrs here. And then we can kind of step our knight up and our big beetle up a little bit. And that's going to kind of do it. We'll let them come to us a bit here. Alright, there we go. So they're stepping up. Throwing stones at us. Now, the Orc Evangelist and the Halfling Evangelist, neither of them have a ranged attack, which is kind of nice. Let's see, can we charge in there, we're going to have to pick our target here and figure out which one we want to actually go for the most here. Go for these martyrs here and do some big damage. There we go. Very nice. And then with Urkan here, we could step up a little bit more. Maybe go for the freeze. Unfortunately, we didn't get it. So why don't we send our big beetle over, get the kill there, and then we can send our cavalry in and go after the apprentice. Fantastic. Okay, and then we can step up our caster and help out. Maybe get the kill. Not quite. We were very close. Okay, well, at least that's forcing them to use up their healing, which is actually kind of nice for us. We don't take quite as much damage that way. This martyr can just get blasted into oblivion. There we go. And it looks like Urkan has a little ice ball stuck to his weapon after throwing that. That's kind of funny. Can get the kill there. Very, very nice. And then we can do some big damage. Well, not really that much damage, but a little bit anyway. Okay, so now let's just kind of start working on these evangelists here. We'll move in like this and do some big, big damage there. Very, very nice. And then we should just get the finish with the retaliatory attacks here. Yep, there we go. Having that martial arts on my cavalry and my infantry and stuff, that's really, really a very useful upgrade. I'm very happy that I have that. Okay. Ooh, you know what? We can get toughness for Urkan, which would just give him 20% physical protection, which would be very nice. Relentless Army. Exhaustion is meaningless to true veterans of the battlefield. Only death can stop them. Bestows all friendly units with Tireless. That's an interesting spell, although I think, again, I think we're just going to buff Urkan himself with some physical toughness. Alright, so now, what to do with Urkan? That's the question. We were originally going to send him underground, but of course, Trugruk is kind of doing the work underground for us at the moment, so we don't need to worry too much. Let's send Trugruk over here and see what we're looking at in this Forbidden Sanctum. Oh, we can probably handle this. We've got ourselves a couple of shamans, so actually 4 shamans, a nymph, and an orc priest. I think we can handle this battle. So we'll do this, and then we'll decide what we want to do with... we have to remember we are cursed. But the only thing we really got to watch out for is the Entangling Touch. Now, I'm going to have to look at it here. I don't think Entangling Touch can affect... Oh, it actually can. Okay, I wasn't sure if it could impact my elemental units. But it definitely can, so I have to be kind of careful here. Because if my units get entangled, it's going to be really bad for them, obviously. So, let's throw a Touch by Faith here on our Air Elemental. And then we'll send him up like this, and like this. Let's just kind of hope and that they don't get afflicted by the entangling touch. Since they're in defense mode, that should make them more resistant to it, but we'll have to see. Because if that ends up happening to them, they're going to be in really rough shape. Okay, there's one. There's two. Okay, that's two that we've resisted. There's two more that are going to come at us from the other shamans. I don't think that... I think that's a once per battle. Oh, dang, it actually has a cooldown. That's unfortunate. Okay, well, what that means is we're going to have to really try and maximize the amount of damage we can do to these shamans such that we don't have to worry about it anymore. So, there we go. Send our grunt over there. Now on this side here, we will blast this shaman as much as possible, and then move in. And if the skewers end up dying, that's not the end of the world. We could try and you know, Uno reverse card on these shaman and use Entangling Touch on them. You know what? Let's try it. Nice, and we got it. That's fantastic. Okay, so we resisted the Entangling Touch, but unfortunately our skewers got seduced. Thankfully, they actually ended up getting frozen, so I don't have to worry as much about that. We're going to probably lose them, but that's okay. Thankfully there, we were able to get the freeze on that shaman, and we used defensive strikes, so now we're in defense mode. I think what we'll do is we'll send this air elemental in to just finish off the... Well, actually, maybe we can step up. We can do some pretty solid damage here. Very nice. And then I think with Trugrak, we could just get the kill. Yeah, very, very good. We can finish off that priest, and then we can send our air elemental over to assist and get the kill there. Excellent. Okay, so now they're going to suicide their skewer on me. Yeah. So we did lose the skewer, but again, not the end of the world. Do we have Divine Justicars? I think we do. Oh, no, we don't, I guess. We just leveled up. So I saw that Trugrak was at level 11, but that was this battle that he leveled up, so we won't have that problem going forward anymore. Now, is a nymph dedicated to good? Yes, it is. I was going to see if I could try and convert it, but... Oh, it can't be affected. Does it have mind control immunity? Yes, it does. Okay. So I wouldn't be able to even if I wanted to. So what we'll do is we'll heal our Frost Elemental there, and then we'll just get the finish. Well, we did lose our little skewer, but I mean, he was kind of expendable anyway. Oh my, and look at this. Summon Bone Dragon as a spell. That is fantastic. I'm going to take that reward. Absolutely. Oh, that's nice. Again, I'm dedicated to evil, so, and I am slightly evil at the moment, so that's going to be a tremendous benefit for me. And thankfully, I have units that can heal undead, so, oh, that's a really, really nice spell for us to have obtained. So now, we also are going to be able to get here, as I said, Divine Justicars. What this effectively does here is that all units in the hero's army are able to gain Resurgence, meaning that if they die in battle, but I win the battle, they come right back. So, Trugrak's stack basically is now extremely, extremely powerful. And if we were to pop up, we would be right here, which isn't really anywhere we want to be. So I think maybe with Trugrak, what we'll instead do is... I suppose we could just kind of go start exploring the underground. Or alternatively, we could head back to the Shadow Realm and reclaim our Draconian city, but I think it might almost be worth to just kind of do some exploring, so I think maybe we'll do that. Now, as for Urkan, I think maybe we'll just head up this way. Again, I was going to maybe clear out this watchtower. I could go try and clear out this, I can't remember the name of it, but it's like a Frost Palace or whatever. I think we'll head up here, though, because we want to just kind of get him up into the fight. We could even go for the Ziggurat. And what we can do is we'll bring Urkan up this way, and we can group up some of our really powerful Phalanx units here with Urkan, and then we can truck on through into this unexplored area and hopefully clear out the spawning structure, making these pesky scoundrels. So that's going to be Urkan's job, I think, going forward. Now, we can use Embrace Darkness, so we'll do that up here. There we go. So that's pretty much every city now that's covered by that. You know what? Let's start summoning a Bone Dragon, because why not? And we can summon it in the domain of one of these cities, and it'll get lifesteal, which would be phenomenal. So we are going to have some very, very powerful Bone Dragons, I think. Whoops. Alright, now let's see if Galendil can mount any kind of defense. I suspect since he was trying to surrender last turn, that I don't think he really has much in the way of forces at this point, so... we'll have to see what he's got. Again, my guess is that his throne city is right over here, but we'll have to kind of keep pressing and find out. And then it's going to be interesting. We've still got 3 opponents left, and we actually haven't even encountered any of them yet, so we're going to have to keep this kind of main group up here, just kind of start rolling to the west and see what we find. Another option, of course, is maybe I get some scouts going. This is something I maybe should have done earlier, but I could start sending some scouts perhaps from down here and send them up into the unexplored area just to get an idea of what we're up against and where our opponents might be. So we have, again, a number of these little Shadow Demon larvae that we've been gradually acquiring every battle. They're kind of expendable in a sense, but they're also just going to provide me with some extra bodies in the fights and some extra damage. In particular against Galendil, since he is elves, it's actually going to be kind of useful. And of course our Draconian city's being attacked here. It's actually going to be useful to have that blight damage because we're up against elves who are a little bit susceptible to blight damage, so... not that it's going to necessarily matter, as we've kind of got overwhelming force at this point, just in terms of having all the extremely strong units that we do. So we're just going to continue to kite these units here. We want to keep this city in our possession as long as possible, just to keep getting the benefits of it. But it would be great to be able to clear out these Shadow Demons eventually. That might be something that maybe I use Urkan for, or eventually maybe Trugruk again if I can get him back into the Shadow Realm. Well, okay, well, we did it once, let's do it again. So there's 2 Shadow Demon Lords and the Shadow Demon Harvesters that are now attacking us. Fortunately, these Shadow Demon Lords don't have a ton of movement, and they aren't... they don't have a ranged attack, so I think we'll be able to continue kiting them. But it would be nice to get some reinforcements in here to prevent this from continuing so that I don't have to do this every single turn. I mean, alternatively, I suppose I could just give up the city, but I don't really want to do that as I've lost most of my foothold in the Shadow Realm as my other Draconian city was captured by some pesky elementals. And, you know, this might actually be a good job for the stack that I'm building to clear out dungeons. I could build another stack to kind of go and be my emergency city recovery squad, so that sometimes in my head I'm always like, oh, I need a hero to lead a stack, but that's kind of a silly thing to get stuck on, this idea that you can't just have stacks of units. It's very easy though to get that in your head of like, oh, I need a hero to lead the stack, but I could just again have these different stacks of units such that they are able to move in and help out and reclaim some of those cities. So I think I might do that. But on the other hand here, we did have an item arrive for Crognash, and you can see here he has Dominating Horn. This now gives him Dominate, so in the same way that Dominus has Dominate, Crognash now also has it, which is fantastic. So we've had a few things happen here. We actually finished Heptatopia, which is be the first to acquire 7 towns. So we've got plus 100 base happiness, which is excellent. I will take that. We did have Domain Invasion here, of course. The Shadow Demon Lords coming in to further besiege the town. We are now able to produce Manticore Riders, which is awesome. Of course, we need to produce the structure that allows us to do that. And we are one turn away from having that in Toldran, at which point we are going to start hammering out Manticore Riders, I think. So let's see what else happened. Mboku grew into a town, which is kind of nice. And you can see here we've now got the gold mine in our domain. So that's actually quite fantastic. And we've got another one that will be in our domain once we have this observatory completed. Parab has produced a phalanx, which we're going to mobilize and get him into the fight. Send him over this way. Let's get Urkan moving up here. We could go for the Ziggurat, but I think I'd actually like to eliminate these units here first. So we will engage these pesky scoundrels and hopefully just eliminate them with no trouble here. Again, we are quite powerful, but they do have some tricks up their sleeves here. Biggest kind of annoyance with these is just that when they hit you, they can cripple you, so which can really limit my mobility, which would be annoying, especially with my cavalry, as I need them to kind of get up in there. And of course, also remember that these units unfortunately have sprint, which means they can kind of get away from you when you try to lock them up in melee like that. So this unit's going to run away if we don't actually kill it off here. So we'll get the finish there. So we've got 3 of them left. So we'll take a little bit more damage, nothing too crazy. Although we are going to want to probably heal up our big beetle there as he's taking a bit of a pounding. Move in. Oof, absolutely obliterated there. Do some damage and some more damage. Very, very nice. Okay, so that takes care of that. You know, now that I think about it, we actually had the buff from this shrine. That would have actually been really nice to apply to the Ziggurat battle. Definitely a missed opportunity there on my part. I maybe should have done that, where I utilized the benefit of that shrine to help make this Ziggurat battle easier. But we've now added ourselves a Goblin Phalanx who thankfully has greater lifesteal, which is fantastic. So what we're going to do, I think, is next turn we're going to use Urkan to try and clear out that Ziggurat. And alright, so that takes care of that. Let's go check out Hininia, as she's got some work to do underground. So, we got ourselves a Bone Dragon that needs to be eliminated here, so let's take care of it if we can. You know what, we can even initiate the battle with this little Phalanx here. Okay. So we need to be careful, as this dragon is no slouch. Not to mention it has Fearsome, so if we attack it with our units, they have a chance to become feared. We don't want that happening, so we're going to just have to be cautious. Now, as for Hininia, I think what we'll maybe do is we'll buff our Phalanx a little bit here. Let's see, what kind of range does this dragon have? Okay, so it can't quite get to us, which is good. Throw a touch of faith on our Phalanx here. Step up and kill off the Lost Soul. And I think what we'll actually do is we'll just kind of tell our units to chill out. We're going to take a breath attack, I'm sure. Which won't be a lot of fun, but we can do a little bit of damage to that Wyvern, why not? Alright, let's let them come in, and I suspect we're going to take a bit of a pounding here. Yeah, there's a Despair, and here comes the Breath. Oof. But our units are holding their own. They're doing their job. We'll attack the Bone Collector here with a War Cry. Here we go, and then we can finish him off with our Flyer there. And, you know, Hininia could actually kill off this Banshee to free up our Phalanx to get in there and start working on the Dragon, which I think would probably be a wise choice. There we go. And our Priests can actually step off here and kill off the Wyvern. Excellent. Which allows our Archer to get out of there if need be. Let's do some Big damage here. Oh, wow. Okay, and we actually just straight up got the kill with our phalanx there. So I can see these phalanx are extremely powerful. For a tier 3 unit especially, they are very, very good. Ooh, and look at this. Quamet's Absorber of Potential Grief. This shield provides 20% physical protection and 40% blight protection. And then we're also getting a Thief's Cowl, which provides night vision. That is very, very nice. I think we will take that. What we'll do is we'll step Hininia onto it and just see what Hininia needs here. So I think we do have a shield arriving for Hininia, but I mean, we might as well just give her that straight up. And you can see that I think that actually gives her 100%. If we take that off, does she still have 100? No, she doesn't. Okay, so that's actually really, really nice, as that straight up now gives her blight immunity. So really nice for Hininia, actually, to have. And then for the Thief's Cowl, I think she already has night vision here as a goblin, so I think we might just sell that off. We don't really need it. Our heroes already have it as their goblins and orcs, so not a big deal there. Now, as for what to do with this stack, we do have some gold down here, but we have a city up on this side that I would like to go and get control of. So I think what we'll do is we will send our stack back this way and go and start trying to reclaim that city. And we'll bring this phalanx along with, because I don't want to leave him by himself. Alright, so that takes care of that. Now back over to Trugruck here. So we can move up this way and do some little battles here. We can try and convert that ogre, actually. That would be really nice. So let's do that. No mercy. Grab a few extra evil points. Why not? So I'm going to try to convert the ogre, if at all possible. I don't think it has mind control immunity. No, it does not, so we'll do our best to make ourselves a brand new friend here. Let's do Touch of Faith on our Air Elemental, who we'll kind of put up front like this. And then we'll bring our grunts in as well. This grunt unit has been just really, really nice to have. Even though it's a tier 1, it's just been really, really useful. Leveled it up a number of times, obviously. Okay. Let's see what kind of damage can we do here. Kobolds, we can almost kill them. Frost Elemental, we can step up and smack that warg and freeze him in place, which is great. Now the ogre, I don't necessarily want the ogre to... I don't want to kill the ogre by accident. But I do kind of want to lock him down so he doesn't really move around much. So perhaps we will set our Air Elemental like this. What I'm hoping happens is that the ogre decides to attack the grunt rather than the Air Elemental. I think it will, because the Air Elemental is in defense mode, whereas the grunts are not. Yes. Oh, and we still actually got the kill. Dang it. Well, we're too strong. That's okay. Would have been nice, but it's not a necessity to get a hold of the... Oh, I suppose what I could have done is tried for one of these kobolds to use as a scout, but... Oh well. So we'll just kind of finish him off here. Very nice. So a little bit of a wasted opportunity, but... Oh, okay, and we're getting a warg out of the deal, so we can use the warg as a scout here and kind of go see what we're up against over here. See if there's anything... Oh, and we're probably going to get attacked by those spiders, so let's try and run back a little bit. And... yeah, I think we'll head up this way with Trugruck here. So we'll keep moving this way, basically. And that takes care of the underground, pretty much. So now let's check out the Shadow Realm. Nothing really going on there, except our city being besieged, of course. So back to the overworld, back to the surface. Now, let's kind of decide how we want to press in here. So, we'll just kind of inch our way along the road here. Now, do we want to go for the city and also go for the throne? I think that's probably a wise choice to kind of double up. So, let's send our Shadow Demons in. We can just straight up send Crognash in here. Yeah, so the city is not well defended, so we can really just move in and go and clear it out. So let's do that. Should be able to handle it with just this stack, I think. Should be just fine. And that'll leave Dominus to be able to start moving that way. So let's engage the battle here. Shouldn't really have too much trouble. Again, maybe I'm being a little overconfident by not bringing backup, but I suspect we're going to be just fine. So with Crognash here, we're going to drop a heal on our Shock Serpent, who's, again, in kind of rough shape. Bring our Shadow Demon Harvesters up, along with our Toadstool Fairy, and our Shadow Demon Lord is going to kind of just move on up as well. Prismatic Spire doing its thing, taking a little bit of damage there, nothing too devastating. Of course, we do have to watch out for the Entangling Touch there coming from the Shaman, I should say. Let's attack the wall there with our big boy. And then we can use our Shock Serpent on the gate. Meanwhile, our Harvesters can just kind of move up to assist. Our Toadstool Fairy as well. Crognash himself can step up. Suppose we could throw a spell on if we wanted. Maybe we put Last Stand on our Shock Serpent just for a little extra defense. Ooh, those poison bolts actually did quite a bit of damage there. That was kind of scary. Alright, so let's blast that Griffin Rider and get the kill there. Very, very nice. And now with our Shadow Demon Lord, suppose we could... How much health does the gate have? Most of its health, because we do have the Flowrock Citadel. So I think we'll actually step the Shock Serpent off as he's in kind of rough shape. And instead... Oh, they get 20 health back. That's pretty annoying. Step up like this. Probably should have looked at that a little bit more closely before I engage the battle, although I don't think it's really going to matter, but we're going to take a little more damage maybe than we otherwise would have needed to. Alright, so they went for the Entangling Touch and thankfully did not get it. So we can beat the heck out of the wall a little bit more. Unfortunately, not quite enough to break it. So it's going to get some health back, but... Let's see here. We could... we could go back here and turn them around, but that would put our fairy kind of at risk, so... Let's do some damage here. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be enough to get the kill. But let's do it anyway. There we go. Our Shock Serpent, we can kind of just get out of the way there a little bit. You don't really want to be taking unnecessary damage. Putting him in unnecessary risk, I guess I should say. On the plus side, we are now going to be able to destroy this wall, which will allow our Harvester to move up and attack the Trebuchet. And we... Oh, look at that. I wasn't sure if that would work because he was sitting on the gate, but that's pretty sweet that we actually got ourselves a Shadow Demon Larva there out of that. That's actually hilarious. Alright, now let's turn the Griffin Rider around, step off, and then just blast the heck out of them there. Very, very nice. Okay, so that's going to kind of limit our ability to do much here. Okay, thankfully our fairies are still alive. There we go. And now we should be able to just finish off the Trebuchet. Excellent. And we got ourselves yet another Shadow Demon Larva, so we are rapidly gaining an army here of little Shadow Demons. And we've got ourselves a High Elf city. Now, I think we kind of angered the High Elves, if I'm not mistaken. Let's just go into my diplomacy menu here. Yeah, we did migrate one of their cities previously, but we don't really need to be evil anymore. We've already got ourselves on the evil side of things. That was down here. I think it was the city of Lyrian that used to be an elven city. So maybe we'll just absorb it rather than worrying about migrating it over. We could migrate it to Shadow Elves. That would be kind of funny. But I think we'll maybe just absorb it. Ooh, although, you know what? That would take longer because they're suspicious of us. Yeah, maybe we migrate it over to Orcs. Let's just take a quick look here. Now, what do Orcs like for terrain? Let's see. So Orcs like Barrens. They don't like Arctic or Blighted, and they hate Volcanic. Now, is any of this Arctic? This is Tundra. Not sure if that's considered to be Arctic or not. Let's see are our Orcs unhappy with the terrain? They don't appear to be. No, so there's nothing indicating that they're unhappy with the terrain at the moment. So that's good for us. So I suppose we could migrate this to Orcs. That would only take 3 turns. Would get us some extra evil points. Let's see what we've got for stuff in the domain of this city. We do have ourselves a dungeon. You know what? We could just do it to Shadow Elves. Let's double check and see what terrain Shadow Elves don't like. That would actually be kind of cool, as that would... let's see. Shadow Elves here. They dislike Blighted, Arctic, and Subterranean. They hate Tropical and Volcanic. And they like dense vegetation. Alright, let's go back up to the surface here. Whoops. So maybe we do Shadow Elves. That would be kind of funny. We actually, we've got quite a bit of dense vegetation there, so let's do it. And it'll only take a single turn, which is kind of cool. Alright, so that takes care of that. Now, let's see if Dominus can maybe start moving over this way. See what he can kind of find out. Again, I suspect this is the Throne City. Looks like it's going to be reasonably well defended over there as well. And we'll send our little Shadow Demons over to assist. One thing I suppose we could do here is start clearing out some of these structures, so let's do that. No Mercy, we want the extra evil points, because why not? We did get a level up with Crognash, which I failed to apply there, so I'll do that next chance I get. Okay, so just got to watch out for the explosion deaths of these fire elementals, of course. So I think we'll heal the Shadow Demon Lord. We can kind of send him up. Harvester can move up. Fairies we're going to have to sort of keep in reserve here. Okay. So why don't we just step right up like this and blast these Tigran Sun Guard, and then we can hopefully kill off these fire elementals here with a combination of attacks. There we go. And that actually did quite a bit of damage to that little Prospector there, as you can see. We'll move in and kill off the Prospector. Okay. Ouch, those firebolts doing some damage there on us, you can see. Sun Guards eliminated, no problem there. And I think we'll kind of use the same approach here with the Fire Elemental here. Actually, we might even be able to kill him off if we get good rolls. Ah, not quite. Alright, well, the Shadow Demon Lord can tank the damage. No problem there. That clears us out a Magma Forge, which is great. A little extra production. Always a good thing. And we can also clear out this gold mine next turn while we're in the area. So I think we'll just hang out. Now with this little stack, I suppose we could go explore the Shadow Realm over here, which really don't have any visual on what's going on there, so maybe we'll do that. Let's go take a quick peek. Ooh, unfortunately, this is like a little island that's just kind of by itself here. Nothing really of any substantial interest. So, I don't think we can... Yeah, you can't traverse this void area, even with a flying unit. So, that's unfortunately kind of a dead end. So, we're gonna go back through the gate there. And we will try to decide what to do next here. This little stack, I guess, kind of same thing. We're going to follow in their footsteps a little bit. And let's do Crognash's level up before we forget about it. You know what? Let's just give him some extra hit points here. A little bit more defense. Actually, maybe some extra resistance. Fleet Command. All units in the Heroes Army gain Mariner. Sure, why not? We're not going to really need it, but let's do it anyway. Inflict bleeding wounds. That's not the worst thing ever, but again, I would just like them a bit tankier there. A little bit more defense. Sure, why not? Yeah, that's pretty solid. And let's just give him the extra hit points there. So now he's a beast. Looks like Ancinia Rez has finished the Barrow, which is awesome. Let's take care of that. So now we can actually make Revenant Caster, Revenant Legionary, or Revenant Cavalry if we were so inclined. But I would like to start working on getting a Chamber of the Right such that then we can produce either a Mausoleum or a Throne of Bone. So let's do that. The Haunted Vault would be kind of cool as that could give us Wraith units, but I do want the Wraith King or Archon Revenant Titans to be produced there. So that's what we're going to prioritize. Alright, now let's just make sure if there's any other units we still have to kind of move around here. So most of the units that we've got have kind of done their thing already this turn. Just kind of... Oh, there we go. There was one. So we got to decide, what do we do with this little phalanx here? Now, let's figure out, do we have enough units over here? We've got 2 phalanx already, and then 1 and 2 on their way over, so we'll move them now. And then, of course, our priest as well. So maybe what we do here is we're going to need 1 more unit to assist. This guy's probably a little too far away to get there in reasonable time. Even if we do... Although I suppose we could grab this hasteberry bush. That would improve things a little bit, but not by a ton, I don't think. That's going to take us 2 turns to get all the way over there. Well, let's see if it does. Nope, still going to take 2 turns. Kind of what I figured. So maybe with this unit we will... It's kind of a tough call. I'm not sure. I want to assemble a force to go back and reclaim this city, which was taken by the undead. But... currently, Haninia is kind of underground with a stack, so maybe we just sort of hang out right here for now. Let's go back to Haninia underground. I mean, her stack is quite in good shape by itself, and we've got 2 phalanx. She's got a very, very powerful army there, so I don't think I really need this extra phalanx. I could send him up and rejoin with this little guy. I don't want to keep him necessarily right by himself like this, though. So maybe we'll tell him to chill out for a turn, and then we'll start building up some forces to kind of join him there. And that's going to kind of do it for our units. So now, let's decide on our research here. Authority of the Sword is a strategic spell that we could grab. Forces neighboring lands to submit to the Empire's rule through demonstration of military power. Target friendly city gains a +1 domain radius. Now that could actually come in a lot of handy when we're looking at some of these cities that are right about to get another structure in their domain. Like if we want to get this dungeon in our domain faster. Let's see in Toldran here. So Toldran is already pretty much max size. Unfortunately, it doesn't really look like there's going to be anything. I mean, I suppose we'll get this corrupted farm, which we could try to turn back into a regular farm. Yeah, I mean, that would still be kind of a useful spell. Okay, like how about here in Parab? you know, we could get this foundry a little bit quicker. That's not a bad spell to grab, but I think rather than doing that, it is only going to take a single turn, but might be nice to also have, like, Resurrect Hero, if any of my heroes do go down. Just some extra casting points to now speed up the rate at which we can maybe summon our Bone Dragons. Terraformer would actually come in a lot of handy now, since we're going to have to maybe optimize some of our cities. Yeah, it's kind of a tough call. Greater Disjunction, of course, is always a good thing, especially since we're going to be going up against 3 more opponents yet to come. Let's do Greater Disjunction. We'll get that out of the way, and then we can grab some of the single turn options as well. All right, so now in Lyrian, we are able to produce some pretty decent units here. We don't really need to, however, so maybe we'll just work on... Actually, we could do a Great Temple, since we're now going to be casting quite a bit of spells here, it seems. Might be nice to just do that, so let's actually do that there. In Parab, I think we're just going to continue to produce Phalanx units, as they are sort of the bread and butter coming out of here, as they're going to have that greater lifesteal. And that's going to kind of do it for our turn, so we'll end it there. And now let's see if Galendil tries to mount anything, or... I don't expect any kind of counterattack from him. I think he's just going to turtle up here. As you can see, he's got a number of units kind of turtle. It looks like he's got at least 2 stacks. We've got one here, and then another one probably on the center of the city. So I suspect he's just going to turtle up. I think Galendil may have had enough time to respawn at his throne, but he will be right there, so we can take out Galendil and his throne at the same time, hopefully. Because when a leader respawns after being killed, they respawn at their throne city. And if this is in fact his throne, then that's where he'll be. Suppose at some point we should clean out this shrine to the Scarlet Destroyer as well. We can go and raid this dungeon and clear out this production resources and grab that for our city. It is nice having a lost library. This is actually going to be of a lot of benefit to our Shadow Elves, because the Shadow Elf Storm, I think it's a Storm Priest, is actually a really, really powerful unit. So that will make our which is a support, one of our, excuse me, that's the Shadow Elf support unit, the Tier 2 support unit. Not to mention that I believe the Shadow Elf Tier 3 unit, I think it's a support unit, but I can't remember. I have to go into the Tome to figure that one out. The Tome of Wonders, that is. In any case, the Lost Library, I think, will benefit our the Shadow Elves in particular. So we're just going to continue to kite these units, as we don't want to give up this city all just yet. It's actually a shame that when I sent that one stack into the Shadow Realm, the one that was led by the Griffin Rider, I was hoping I could come in to try to reinforce this city a little bit, but they're isolated from it, as that Shadow Gate is on an island there, which really isn't of any use. I suppose one thing you could use that little island for is you could put a city there as kind of a final, like, turtle up destination to keep you as safe as possible, maybe. Like, let's say you were, especially, like, let's say you were playing against a human opponent, that could be a place to have kind of like a backup city where you could really control, the units can only come at you from kind of one direction. If you were trying to have kind of a turtle up backup base, that would be a place to do it. Okay, so we are now successfully evil rather than being slightly evil. A few things have happened here. We finished our Great Beast Lair. We produced a Warlord's Command. High Elves are not happy with us, as you can see there. And this city has shrunk a little bit, but I mean, we'll grow it back as we work on the city here. So the Shadow Elf Umbral Weaver Charioteer, I can't remember if that unit is a support or not, but in any case, not really relevant at the moment, as we just got to work on kind of improving the city itself. So here we can produce the Shadow Elf Storm Priest, which is going to be very nice once we have the Lost Library and the Magic Academy, which means that our produced support units get +1 melee damage, +1 range damage, and +1 resistance. Very, very nice for them. So that's actually going to be really, really cool. So why don't we do a storehouse just so the city grows a little bit faster to try to reclaim some of that lost ground there. And we'll tell this little guy... Ooh, actually, he's a silver medal. Maybe we want him in battles. I was going to say he can be the city guard, but maybe we actually want him just guarding the city, or in the battles here. That Shadow Demon can be the city guard. Dominus can kind of creep up and just get a peek at what's going on. So, yeah, so there's Galendil. He has respawned, and that is his throne. Not really surprising. So this city is actually going to be very well defended. You can see here we've got Shaman, 2 Griffin Riders, Mature Reed Serpent, Galendil himself, obviously, and then another stack here, mostly Tier 1 units, but still decently powerful. So, you know, we've got our work cut out for us. That won't be an easy battle by any means. And I think what we'll do here is we'll use Crognash to just initiate this battle and clear this out. And then I think we will maybe call it an episode. Now, are there any units here maybe want to recruit with our Dominate? I suppose maybe the Black Knights would be a good choice. So let's see if maybe we can get a hold of them. That would be kind of cool. And we also want to see if we can get enough experience, which one attack should do the trick. But we want to try and level up this Shadow Demon Larva so that it can evolve here. Again, our units are a little bit worse for wear, so we'll send our Shadow Demon Lord up the gut here. It's going to be kind of our main vanguard unit for this battle. King Shock Serpent can move in and attack the Razor Bows there and just absolutely decimate them. Shadow Demon Harvesters here. Both are at silver medal. And I don't know if at gold... So they don't really get anything special other than just a lot of extra hit points there and a little bit of extra spirit damage for their melee. When they hit gold medal, that is. But still worth trying to level them up a little bit. Do a little bit of damage there. I don't want to put this unit at too much risk, so... Oh. Well, unfortunately, the cavalry just kind of got obliterated there, so... We aren't going to really have an opportunity to convert them. Or dominate them, I guess I should say. Now, did this unit level up? Yes, it did, so we're in good shape. So let's go in and try and dominate the Razor Bow. Just to grab another unit. We can even have the Razor Bow guard the city if we need, rather than the Shadow Demon Larva there. Okay, so now we can... why are we suddenly... Oh my gosh! So I got super lucky again. Wow, I can't even believe that. So this unit now evolved into a Shadow Demon Lord. That's hilarious. Because if we look at them here... So they have a chance to evolve into either a Bombard, a Harvester, or a Lord. And of course, the Bombard is Tier 2, the Harvester is Tier 3, and the Lord is Tier 4. So my assumption is that you have the highest chance is to become a Bombard, and then the next highest chance is a Harvester, and then a Lord is the rarest. I don't know if that's true. It might just be you have a 1/3 chance of each of them. But I would assume that it's probably skewed towards the Bombard. That's hilarious. We just got ourselves a Tier 4, another Tier 4 unit. So, unbelievable. So, yeah, we'll send him right over and get him into the fight. He can assist with what's going on over here. So, we'll just kind of group everybody up here and start pressing in. But I think we're going to call this one an episode right here, as we've got Galendil really on the ropes here. We're closing in with our very, very powerful units, and we've really got him down to just his throne city. That's all that's left. So I'll just zoom out here and get a look. So you can see we've really spread our empire all the way kind of up the east side of the map here and into the north. So hopefully we can eliminate Galendil without too much trouble, and then we can continue to press west and find the rest of our opponents. So as I said, we'll save this one here. So we're going to call this one episode 17. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.